Many adults might be jaded by this long presidential race, but for local students, it's a living civics lesson playing out in real time. You're about to meet 7th graders immersed in presidential issues, and they put that knowledge today to the test. Our Paula Tutman is live outside of Detroit Country Day Middle School. So Paula, explain exactly what's going on with these students.
Well, Devin was just talking about some heavy hitters. I met some pretty heavy hitters myself here today. We're talking about the 7th graders, and they've actually been immersed in this whole election process as part of their curriculum. They've gotten it in math and civics and history. And then, of course, today they actually held their big debate.
Hillary Clinton will promote the best practices among law enforcement and how they work with the authorities to make and that they build trust between local law enforcement and communities.
Students have been researching the issues, and while they can't vote, many have taken the idea of understanding what's being said and how it affects them.
I identify as a Democratic, but my dad and my mom don't know who to vote for because they have a pretty high favorability rating.
From cutting the business tax rate down to 15%, or making a flat tax rate for everyone in the United States, the Republican Party will work hard to make sure that our economy thrives.
The Republican Party beliefs align with mine, and even though the candidates may not, in particular this election cycle, I knew that overall I looked at the Republican Party platform, and that's what I agreed with.
I identify more with Democratic.
But what if we could stop bad people from getting those guns in the first place? Right now, that might not make a huge difference, but in the future, 10 years, 15 years, that could make a massive life-saving difference.
Especially for immigration and the Syrian refugee issue. I understand that these families, they're in trouble. They don't have a home. And my mom was trying to tell me, what if this was us? But I also understand how the Republican Party feels. What if someone does come in?
So Donald Trump has said a lot of things about banning Muslims. Well, my dad's not a Muslim, he's a Hindu, but he comes from India. You know, my dad migrated here, so did my mom. They both came here for the American dream. And we cannot just go to every single house, raid it, and see if there's an illegal immigrant there. It's not possible.
The process of performing a thorough background check on thousands of people who want to come into our country is an incredibly difficult task.
Looking at my classmate, I want to say I'm friends with him because, we can put aside our differences and we can look at it as America. We are all founded by immigrants. So we can look at it and say that, we celebrate our differences, but we also celebrate how can we be friends and how can we grow together.
Okay, so who are the children and who are the adults here? Let me tell you what I learned, Karen. I am not smarter than a 7th grader. These guys really did their homework. And what was so interesting is while you might think that their ideas and their opinions reflect their households and their parents, they didn't really. They aligned somewhat, but these kids had a lot of their own ideas that they developed from doing their own research. And of course, they are going to do the big vote, the school-wide vote, on Tuesday. We hope their parents do the same. No matter how you vote, we hope you show up at the polls and vote. Karen, back to you.
I was going to say, Paula, their words were just so refreshing. They took the time to educate themselves. And I have to say, I feel kind of confident in the fact that they are our future leaders.
Yeah, you know what, Karen, that's a great point because they really had a grasp of the issues. Now, you and I have been covering this election all campaign season, and we've met people who don't have a grasp of the issues. These kids actually have a grasp of the issues. Go talk to them if you have any questions. They've got the answers.
Some smart kids. All right. Thank you. Paula Tutman reporting live today in Beverly Hills.